What are we gonna watch next?
Killer Workout. And it's directed by the late, great David Pryor, who did Deadly Prey. So it should be great. Something very unhealthy is happening at Rhonda's Health Club.
Nice.
Warning, this workout's a real killer. Man, they're just full of them. Full of great lines here. They came to get their bodies into the best shape of their lives. Too bad they'll never have the chance to enjoy it.
Because they're dead.
In the locker room, in the showers, in the weight room, even in the parking lot. Someone is turning the most beautiful bodies in town into a grisly, brutal body count. Now nobody's safe. There's no place to hide. Except maybe if you just leave the gym. I would think that would be the best way to avoid getting killed at the gym.
So, gratuitous nudity.
That's, yeah, you can see, look at this hot babe.
Boom, boom!
Hot 80s babe.
This sounds great. I'm pretty adverse to working out in general. And so, you know.
This is the movie for you.
It's just more reasons not to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Excuse me, visual storytelling. You know everything you need to know about her character by her dropping her purse.
She's clumsy and she likes to get fucked. Lots of plot from these scenes. Lots of plot.
Now really, arch your back. Stick out that plot.
I'm not sure why the device used for killing is a giant safety pin, but...
Yeah, that seems weird.
I guess that was an unsafety pin.
So our second film tonight is a David A. Pryor joint called Killer Workout. Jack, what happens in Killer Workout?
Killer Workout is a great movie.
But it isn't.
It's a
That's
fantastic movie.
It's not at all.
It's a movie about a string of murders that happens in a place in which you work out, a gym.
Those are called a gym, yeah.
Some people call it a gym.
Some people call it a gym. Homer
A
Simpson.
gym. An exercisatorium.
Monty Burns.
Yeah. And so a string of murders happens at a gym. And
This sounds really exciting.
it's very exciting. And a bumbling cop has to figure out who done it while the body count piles up.
It's a gun. The bullet flies really fast.
But more importantly, it's a string of scenes that don't make much sense, intercut between super awesome aerobic footage.
Comprises 60% of the film.
Yes.
I think they should have called it the Vagina Monologues. That would have been a much better title.
Because of all of the legs.
The biggest problem with the movie, though, is that there are too many monologues. So
That's
maybe
true.
not. But just dry hump in the air, fucking that oxygen.
Oxygenating their womb
They're
space.
oxygenating their room space, yeah.
Call back. Yeah, no, the aerobic footage is women doing like aerobic moves that make no sense, that elicit sexual acts. Yes. It's shocking.
And the movie does have a choreographer, though. We should mention that.
It was a prostitute.
They hired the wrong person.
I was going to say it was David A. Pryor with a pseudonym.
That is not an exercise.
I don't
These
think
are
so.
not real moves.
Are you sure this is the real? Yeah.
Look, we got a choreographer.
Just hump the ground.
It kind of feels like we're bouncing up and down on dicks.
That exercise your lutimals.
Trust me, I'm a filmmaker. They don't call him David Pry your clothes off for nothing. Yeah, no, those scenes were pointless, they were shocking, they were comical, and they were degrading. And
Which is why they were the best scenes in the movie.
Coroner's office.
Classes are still going on
is-
while they're investigating a dead body?
Yeah.
What?
This is real problematic.
Please drag the body out while the workout is going on.
Past all the people working out.
So the movie starts.
The movie starts.
Yeah.
The opening of the film, we see a brunette woman. She gets a phone call. She comes home from work. We never see her face, by the way. She comes home from work. She checks her answering machine.
Hey, Valerie, hold on to your socks, babe. You've got the job. Tomorrow morning, you're on your way to Paris.
Is she a mute? You got the job. You're gonna do a modeling gig in Paris. You know, and her feet go like this.
She gets happy feet.
She's so excited. She never says a word. We never see her face. She goes off to the tanning bed to tan, allegedly for her big shoot. The tanning bed explodes or starts on fire or something.
Both at the same time.
And then it cuts.
Well, what's it gonna be this time? I'm late and I'm sorry, okay?
And then we're introduced to the owner of a workout club who has the same exact brunette hair and who may or may not be the killer of the entire film.
Spoiler.
It's a complete coincidence that she has the exact same hair.
Her name is Rhonda, and it's Rhonda's Gym, aka Rhonda's Steakhouse. Rhonda's workout sign looks like a steakhouse sign.
I was just thinking
Yeah,
that. I was thinking like a shitty.
It looks like Sizzlers
Yeah.
or Ponderosa. It looks like the Ponderosa sign.
The Ronda Rosa.
Ronda Rosa. Yeah. And shortly after the film begins, even though there was a 5-year break between the tanning bed incident, people start getting killed with a gigantic safety pin. This is real. This is real. This is what.
Jason Voorhees has his machete. You know, Freddy has his glove. The Killer and Killer Workout, for no reason, has a comical, oversized safety pin.
Why would someone have a rubber arm in a locker though?
Because it's a wacky gym. Yeah, rubber arms, comical safety pins. This is like a front for some sort of clown school.
Well, before it was a gym, it used to be like a gag shop.
Someone is bludgeoned to death with a giant shoe.
Oh, gag shop murders. That's gotta happen.
The real issue at hand with the safety pin is that this is a film about murders in a gym, and as we've seen, Death Spa.
The superior film.
The much superior film. If you make a movie set in a gimmick location like a gym, you want to have deaths that are associated with the gym, i.e. a person gets baked alive in a sauna or weights drop on. And there was one kill in this film which was weight related.
So he's just killing people
He kills the men too.
while the gym is open?
Apparently.
In the middle of the gym? That doesn't seem very smart.
There were not clever kills which are associated with a gym. And when you watch a movie called Killer Workout, you want to see gym deaths.
And the dumbbell one was especially disappointing because even though the killer does kill someone with a dumbbell, they establish that the guy that is about to be killed is lifting weights with whatever that machine is called.
Like the pulley counterweight.
Yeah, where it's got the
bench.
weights with
Yeah.
the pin thing in the middle of it. And we see it going up and down, and we're like, oh. And I was thinking of the Toxic Avenger, because there's a great kill in that where the Toxic Avenger takes a guy's head, puts it under that thing, and the needle goes right through his head, and the weights crush his skull. And instead, the rope snaps.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of awkwardly hits him in the face, and then out of nowhere she pulls out a dumbbell and smashes him.
Maybe she expected the weights to fall on his head, and then when that didn't work, it was just, plan B,
He was
dumbbell.
improvising. Yeah. Okay.
She expected it to kill him.
Yeah, she spent all that time like loosening the nut for the weights. She's like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. And then, they just got a bump.
And like not only are none of the kills clever or interesting, there's a mystery. There's a whodunit.
It's a whodunit slasher, which there was a lot of in the 80s as a result of like Friday the 13th.
Yes. And so we kept assuming that the giant safety pin had some sort of character motivation. That might have been the clue to who the murderer was, and it was just her keychain.
She's gonna pull out the paperclip.
We know it's her.
Yeah, I know. Looking right at the camera.
On the camera.
Keychain.
Are we supposed to be surprised?
Yeah.
Which, if you're trying to stay under the radar, you might want to use like a keychain you have on you all the time as your murder weapon.
She really should have used just a basic knife or a blunt object. Lay down.
Yeah. You know it's gonna keep coming.
Go out of range of the knife.
But just it's for your own good.
Yeah.
Why don't you move? Oh, okay.
She deserved to die.
Or more gym-themed kills. Like, has anybody's head ever been crushed by a thigh master? Has that happened?
Just stick someone's head between Suzanne Summers and see what happens.
Yeah. Oh hey.
Yeah,
He's Colonel Hogan from Deadly Prey.
Oh, yeah!
Never see that before.
Here, handle this evidence.
This movie should be retitled to Just the Worst Cop.
Well, we
Or-
discover
Incompetent?
incompetence.
Again.
That's great.
The body is found in the locker of Shy Girl. So it must be Shy Girl.
Yeah, she would clearly put the dead body in her own locker.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he drives over to Shy Girl's apartment.
Who is it? Who's there?
Open up! Open the door!
It's a proper police procedure.
Maybe say you're a cop.
Open up!
At no point proclaiming that you're a cop.
Yeah.
Just pound on the door and say, I want in your apartment.
Right.
Let me in.
Cop smash!
And at the same time, our mysterious killer is in Shy Girl's apartment. Coincidentally, and even though she probably also hears that the cop is banging on the door, she murders her,
Yes.
allowing the cop to bust in and find the body and realize that his lead suspect was no longer a suspect, that the killer is still at large.
I think it's an unrelated murderer who also happened to use a safety pin, because we clearly see a large man jump out the window.
That's true, yeah.
Deadly Prey is in the film, aka Ted Pryor.
He's taking out garbage just like in Deadly Prey.
I'm gonna pretend this is the prequel to Deadly Prey, and that's Dead Wife.
That's how he meets his wife.
And he's a FBI agent or an undercover cop or
He's
something.
a private investigator.
The private investigator who poses as a gym employee to solve who's killing people at the gym, and he's never at the gym.
He
And then-
immediately leaves to hang out with this hot babe.
Now don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Just gonna make some long distance calls.
Why is there a phone there?
It's just a phone right there. So they don't have to change the blocking.
Man, I'm really glad she has this phone just on her backyard for some reason. It seems like a weird place for a telephone.
Right, and when he's gone, then horrible murders happen at the gym.
Yeah.
And at first, the first horrible murder that happens at the gym, it happens like, oh, we gotta shut the gym down or carry the body out. The next day, people start coming back. Eventually, murders start happening while the gym is open.
Yeah.
And no one stops exercising, and they just lift the bodies and take them out.
We cut from them like zipping up a body bag to the aerobics class.
The aerobics class, which none of the classes ever end. Nothing
Cops
ever,
are actually in the other room.
Yeah.
while murders are happening.
I think that was something that was created in editing, though. I think that this was, they realized that the movie was sort of boring, so like, we have all this aerobics footage. Let's just keep cutting back to that once in a while. So in the movie, as it was shot, they were probably not supposed to still be open, but they just were like, well, this is boring. Just show some more boobs. So they just cut to that.
Work like a charm.
Yeah.
It's like the bird in Citizen Kane.
Like the time his wife left him.
The parakeet, where it's like, it's like a scene transition, right?
Well, it was meant to wake the audience up.
Like for real?
Yes. The producer thought it was the film people would be sleeping in the theaters, so he said, Orson Welles, you gotta cut in this bird and squawk to wake the audience up.
Okay.
That's true. It's a fact.
Wow. Well,
Like the time his wife left him.
Who used to be the perfectly beautiful Valerie Johnson, until 70% of her body was burned in a tanning spa accident 5 years ago.
Look, that's enough!
Valerie Johnson, who was to become the modeling world's newest young star, but suddenly couldn't get a job starring in a freak show.
What do you want, Morgan? What? Look, is this what you wanted to see?
I've got Freddy Krueger tits.
Oh, fuck's sake.
She was completely engulfed in flames at the beginning of this movie, and she was face down.
But her shoulders aren't burned, it's just her tits.
So literally, the only thing that's burned on her body is her boobs. She has Freddy Krueger boobs.
That's 75% of her body. Those are some big boobs.
Only my tits were burned up.
Yeah. Everything is burned except for what we see at any given time.
My career is over. I'm a woman.
That was a joke about sexism. I understand that.
Okay, it was about sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
that works.
This isn't a police car, Morgan.
That's right, Miss Johnson. It's a rental.
I don't understand. I was about to meet someone for lunch, and then you show up and pull me away on what you call urgent police business?
Just shut up and get out of the car.
They just forgot to shoot a scene.
She's wearing like a clown outfit now.
Wow.
So he takes Rhonda into the woods with a shovel. Everybody knows exactly what he is going to do from the moment he walks into a woods with the shovel.
He's like, I have an important top secret police business. You have to come with me. It involves a shovel and an open field on my father's property. And she's not suspicious whatsoever, being a serial killer herself.
He starts monologuing. He does not stop monologuing, ever.
My father used to own this thing. He was going to settle down here after he retired from the force. But that never happened. Some punk he pulled over for speeding.
Prince, you look embarrassed for the movie. he's like,
Yeah.
This is it.
Just like that. Shut up and listen. I'm not through yet. My father was a good man. Very...
I'm going to murder you and put you in the ground so you don't kill anyone else.
Why didn't she start running away halfway through that scene?
Yeah, when it was very clear what was about to happen.
Saying, Miss Johnson. day I'm crossing that line. Oh, I've read the papers. I've heard the reports. And I know the department's position.
All right, we know what's happening now. We can proceed.
They gotta stretch it to 80 minutes.
Jesus.
I know you did it. You know you did it. And if I let you go free now, you'll do it again. I can't let that happen.
You're out of your mind. You can't just bring me up here and kill me.
No. Just a man. Justice must be served. The time is now.
Now!
Now! Oh, fucking now!
Oh, no.
Just the worst cop.
Yeah, I guess she goes directly from taking him out to back to the gym. Just so we can get a reveal of the keychain, right?
Extra footage.
She's dead.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
This is just random footage.
Now the movie's over. It's we're celebrating the cast.
This movie has brain damage.
Holy crap.
Not a lot of camel toes in Killer Workout.
No, everything was nice and tucked in.
I know how we're going to transition to the next movie.
Tagline: in Vietnam, he was the best. He still is.
Do you think this movie might have been influenced by Rambo? Oh my god, look at that.
Knife
yeah.
dick.
He's got a knife dick. I don't think that's intentional, but...
Well, we don't know who this is. Mike Denton has been called the most perfect killer ever. By someone. He earned the title in Vietnam, and now he'll have to prove it again. But this time, Denton has only his bare hands for weapons. He's up against not only a fully outfitted army of bloodthirsty mercenaries, but also the very man who taught him all he knows.
Oh my god, this is nothing like Rambo.
I've already got real problems with this illustration now because I've been told he only has his hands, and yet gun, knife dick, shorts,
Mullet.
a mullet.
They really needed to give you some background on this fucker.
Yeah. Who is this guy? Why is he so
He's
crazy?
just action hero. He knows how to do this all because he's action hero, man.
Maybe there will be some later. Oh my god! Look out, guys! He's got a stick! So, I think out of the blocks of screenings we've done so far, this to me was the most consistently enjoyable. I don't know if I can speak for everybody else.
I did not feel sad or bad at any
I was
point during the
never-
filming.
Never bored. There was never a lull, but the first movie we watched was the only one I was completely unfamiliar with, and it's called Deadly Prey. And Rich, why don't you explain Deadly Prey to people?
Deadly Prey, I mean, I guess it's easy to describe because there's not much in the way of plot. I don't really know quite what the plot was. There's these military guys, they're in the woods and they're training. And they're funded by a rich white man for some reason that we never find out.
Played by a robot.
I'm a businessman, Hogan, not a fool.
Actortron 5000. Generic evil businessman program running.
The way the army trains is by taking unarmed, innocent civilians and shooting them in the woods.
Yeah, just scooping them up off the streets.
And then shooting.
Hunting and then shooting them.
But they make a mistake and they scoop up the wrong man.
Scoop up the wrong man. They scoop up the Terminator.
Run. You're gonna die.
Yeah! Again! Are we gonna hear "You're Gonna Die" in every movie we ever watch now?
Now he should hide like right there by the entrance, and when they all run out to find him in the woods, he should run back into the base and take those grenades from the desk.
Whenever the head of the mercenaries is at his desk,
He's got just a kind of a little brace here of grenades.
They're just there.
They never get used. They're in focus, in frame, in every shot at his desk, and the grenades are never touched.
No, they get knocked over when Grandpa gets killed.
Although all his nice grenades fell.
Oh, his grenades! He's the Terminator meets Rambo minus pants.
Minus personality.
And personality and charm.
Backstory.
And one-liners.
And one-liners.
No, he has one one-liner in this movie. It's the best one-liner in the history of action movies.
Where he says, fuck you?
Fuck you.
No, where he goes, "Arr."
That's his catchphrase.
That's his catchphrase.
It's a movie made up completely of cliches. There is no plot to this movie besides don't die.
Yeah.
It's like somebody without an understanding of like human language or culture watched the first two Rambo movies, and they made like a crossbreed of these two movies just from the things they've seen and didn't understand, but they saw these things and they put them in a movie.
Well, he's gonna throw these rocks on him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
This small pile of rocks in an
Stay
area
close.
where there are no other rocks around. There's just a pile of rocks. Oh my god! Run to the left or right!
It's like Prometheus. Just run to one side and you'll be safe.
It's just, well, it's a lazy script.
Yeah.
It's a very lazy script. They didn't bother to have a plot. They didn't bother to throw on characterization. Yeah. Things happen because they should in that type of movie.
Yeah.
But it goes so far with that it comes back around to being compelling, where it's incredibly entertaining. Like I was entertained the whole way through just because it's so. I mean, from the first frame. That tells you everything you need to know about the movie.
Could we take a moment to talk about how effective grenades are in this universe?
You mean not very?
Not very. That's a level of effectiveness.
They all fall on the ground exactly 1 foot away from the person they throw them at, and they make a little poof.
Yeah.
And the person is completely unharmed. They were self-aware enough to realize about halfway through the movie that people would get bored of running through the woods. So there's like a 10-15 minute intermission where they're at the camp.
They've captured him and he's taken away.
Taken him back to the camp because they don't want to kill him after they capture him, even though the whole point was to kill people for training. They capture him anyway.
Ah, but that's after they realize that he is the ultimate soldier.
Yeah.
Right. But then they go right back to the woods.
Yeah.
It's like an intermission in the middle of the movie.
Well, yeah.
Well, the best part about that section of the movie is he is tied up in the camp. He escapes.
Bitch.
He goes home. Meanwhile, his girlfriend has been kidnapped. His wife has been kidnapped. So as he's going home, she's going to the camp. And he just leaves the camp and walks home in his tiny shorts and no shoes.
Which he could have done at any point.
He could have done that at any moment. Wait.
What?
Oh, god damn it!
All that, and then he just goes home. Why didn't he go home sooner?
So he goes home, realizes that his wife has been kidnapped, and then just goes right back to the camp.
We should point out that he walked home covered in blood.
Blood and barefoot.
Through the suburban. Well, he lives in a suburban neighborhood. Yeah. It's not like he lives in the middle of nowhere. So he walked home through the suburbs covered with blood. Doesn't stop at the police station to say, yeah, I was kidnapped. He just, I'm blood. Hi, honey, I'm home, covered in blood.
Friend or enemy?
I'm a friend.
You're a liar.
This is the best character in the movie.
Oh, yeah. Long shot.
Why'd you even bother asking me?
There is a wonderful subplot involving his wife's dad, who decides to take matters into his own hands and go to the camp even though he doesn't know where it is or that it even exists?
The wife saw I think she read the license plate off.
I don't-
The father,
I
and there was like a whole. Obviously, there had to be a whole section of detective work that the movie didn't show us.
Yeah, it's like just knowing the fact that it
License
was
plate.
a van.
Okay, I'll go to the woods.
Yeah.
What I love about that though is the father father confronts the old guy with a gun, and he gives this long, wonderful speech.
Oh my God.
Who am I? A little man who spent 27 years of his life as a cop trying to put big shots like you away. 27 years in the filth and the dirt of the street, and there ain't no music down there. You watch the people in the streets, killing, raping each other, pumping dope through their veins, while big men like you sit in the fancy penthouses.
Acting, everybody, acting.
And then after all that, and he talks about, I want to put
About
people like
putting
you in
people
jail.
behind bars, and then he just shoots him.
Today, the nobodies who made you rich are gonna win. Die, you son of a bitch.
And then it's back into the woods. Tim Curry and Action Man team up because they were buddies in Vietnam.
Besides, you're probably gonna kill them all anyway. I like being on the winning side. It's a lot healthier.
And they team up, and Action Man sets all sorts of traps in the woods and does a lot of fucking,
Just like First
trip
Blood.
things. Yeah.
Coincidentally.
Like First Blood or Predator or Commando or any other action schlock.
Yeah.
For some reason, even though he's killed at this point a dozen guys and has access to a dozen machine guns, he's setting spear traps.
But then they get Action Man's wife back and put her in like the secret hiding place, and it's just like, stay here, I'm gonna kill all these other fuckers, and then I'm gonna come back for you. So he goes along killing all these people, and meanwhile, the second in command big bad guy, the guy with the black shirts and the sunglasses.
Guy.
Who was the worst manager ever, who has just been randomly killing employees, essentially.
Yeah, whenever anyone questions what he's doing or has bad news, he just fucking kills them.
Yeah.
Christ! We're not hunting him. He's hunting us. Suck this. Come on.
It's a very, again, collection of cliches. That's a bad guy trope where they're just like, you disagree with me? Boom.
But
I'm a
usually
bad
there's
guy.
a reason for it, or there's some
Sure.
sort of
He just gets mildly annoyed.
he's just annoyed and shoots them.
Because at the very least, that trope is like, you kill one guy in front of everybody else to let you know that you're not fucking around. He kills like 3 dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Even when the main character is like killing all their guys left and right and they're running low on help, he's still shooting his own guys. That's just making things worse for you.
So he manages to somehow get back around and get the wife, pull her away, so he gets the wife back to the colonel. So Tim Curry steps up and shoots the colonel in like the shoulder.
I don't think so.
And then the colonel's like, go ahead and kill me, traitor.
He flat out asks him to kill him.
Yeah. And then he doesn't.
He just doesn't.
What?
You blew
it! What the fuck was that?
Tim Curry has been killing people. He's been part of this mercenary group killing people for money.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I don't want to kill people for money anymore. So he has a chance to stop the person who's been making him kill people for money.
He hasn't been killing for money, he's been killing for training. But whatever.
For money.
The organization is getting money, yeah.
So point is, he shows some mercy out of nowhere for some reason, and guess what he gets for it? Sunglasses guy takes the wife again.
Bitch.
No! Oh, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
The whole movie has been building towards this, and he just shoots the wife dead. And then
It does lead to my favorite scene in the film.
He didn't just beat him with his own arm. He beat him to death with his own arm.
Absolutely.
the movie really should have ended right there.
It was, fine if Colonel gets away. I don't care because that happened.
Oh, you missed.
Our hero, his wife is dead. He catches up with the main bad guy, asks him to strip.
Your shirt. Take it off.
Oh, this is taking a weird direction.
Take off your shirt before I cut
You're gonna have to take my wife's place.
And then says, run.
Run! No!
What?
Wait, no. No. Are you fucking kidding me? And then that's the end.
This is because they also saw First Blood without understanding First Blood.
Right.
And they tried to do a similar type of downbeat ending.
I think it's supposed to be that he's tortured, but the point is
he's hunting the bad guy.
That's the implication is that he's going to put him through the same thing that he was put through initially.
But why the fuck is that in a movie where a guy beats someone to death with their own arm?
Right, he should have killed the bad guy, and that's the end of the movie. Well, really, he should have killed the bad guy to save his wife.
You would leave a movie like that as you should with a good feeling.
Yeah.
Instead, you're like, oh. It's like Mass Effect 3.
Who is this Colonel? What's his name? Hogan! Colonel Hogan!
Wait, don't tell me.
Enough talk. Let's make out.
Which one's the best?
This for me is hard because I loved all of these movies. It's very, very difficult for me to decide which I enjoyed the most. If I can say, like, because I'm being indecisive here, and I'm okay with that. I don't give a shit. But
as you like, Bauman.
But if we're going with the movie that I was bored the least during, because a lot of times these movies, even if they're entertaining, there's the lulls where you're like, there's nothing funny, nothing interesting. It's just exposition and badness. The one I was bored the least with was Deadly Prey.
Okay. Huh.
You know what? The best thing about this week is that none of these movies made me want to kill myself.
This is an easy choice for me, okay? You have Deadly Prey, which was entertaining, but it's ultimately just a knockoff of other action movies. You have Girls in G-String, I don't think that's the name of the box art, but the Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It is what it is, and we know what it is. It's boobs. We've seen it before. It's
But
funny.
not with a snake.
Not with a snake, but we've seen it before. This is just something so fucking bizarre. You have to see it. This is batshit crazy. I have to go with Miami Connection.
Okay.
I'm pretty much on the same sort of level as you. As like, a Deadly Prey was it just the collection of cliches that pleased me until the end, where it's just like total Captain fucking bring down. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It has those set pieces. It has those little things. The devil's in the details there. Like, why is there a snake? There's no reason there needed to be a snake through the whole fucking movie, but there it is. There's, there explosions needed to happen, I guess, but it's delightful in its own way. But then there's Miami Connection. Miami Connection is Samurai Cop level of just how is it a movie?
How did that get made? You're watching it. Why did they make that? How did they make that? Whose idea was this?
Someone was involved in every creative step, where it seems like no one was involved in any creative step, and yet here the evidence is right in front of you.
I'm gonna be, even though I would love to say Deadly Prey, because that's the movie I grew up on, and so that's my personal favorite. I'm gonna agree with you with Miami Connection, because that is a passion project.
Clearly.
YK Kim had a vision of a movie, and it came to life, and his vision is a horrible glory.
All right, here goes. Aiming for Roller Gator.
Good luck. Oh, no, you know what? I'm okay with Mankiller. I'm okay with that.
Not giving us a lot to latch on to right away here.
Pretty killer score so far. So we got that going.
Yeah.
right, so you have landed on Mankillers, which it looks fun, but it's only worth 25 points. Would you like to read the back of the box?
Well, first of all, they're beautiful, they're deadly, they're on a rampage. No man can stop them. A female homage to the Dirty Dozen, Mankillers features a ragtag group of bottom feeders, murderers, thieves, and other assorted miscreants, who, unless they coalesce into a lean, mean fighting machine to stop a rogue agent and the drug cartel that employs him, have the option of a prison cell or the electric chair. It's wall-to-wall action and adventure in Mankillers. It's actually fairly wordy.
It's a prison shower scene.
Yay, tiny shorts! Everyone gets tiny shorts!
This...
Look at that! David Pryor, you dirty old man.
Directed and written by David A. Pryor, Deadly Prey, Killer Workout. Mankillers stars Ed Byrnes, TV's 77 Sunset Strip, Gail Fisher, TV's Mannix, Edie Williams, The Naked Kiss, Linda Alden, Dr. Detroit, William Zipp, Deadly Prey, and Christine Lund, The Mask of the Red Death, and Suzanne Tegman, Death Chase.
All-star lineup.
I don't know much about firearms, but you don't hold it up when you're like searching for a target.
Ideally, you don't keep your finger on the trigger like that either.
That kills like 2 seconds of having to lower it.
But it looks cooler.
It looks cooler.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, look. I mean, look how awesome that looks.
Yeah.
What? Who's making these things do that? Like, there's no one there. They're just on like string.
Right.
Just...
Yeah.
Disclaimer. Mankillers is presented using the best available elements provided by Slasher Video, not sourced from an HD master, remastered from PAL, Beta, SP, and upconverted to Blu-ray and DVD specifications.
Okay.
Go grab roller.
Oh. A fluke of physics has occurred. A roller gator with Joe Estevez and Conrad Brooks. Meet a rapping purple baby alligator fighting to escape the clutches of a scheming carnival owner who sends a skateboarding ninja to capture him.
So what the hell are we gonna do now? Yeah, what about it? I don't know. I'm thinking. And I'm thinking.
Fucking who was in charge of their shirts? Because I love it. The detail put into each of them having a specific and unique tattered shirt.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Really true.
Look at that.
And it's like designed for each of their like style.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone spent a lot of time. David Pryor spent a lot of time on that.
Well, rich?
Yeah, this is a fucking easy one. I just
wait. What movie is he talking about?
Mankillers.
Talk about Mankillers.
I'm gonna talk about Mankillers. Let's get 24 boobs and have them run around the woods with guns.
Precisely 24 breasts.
There you go.
Jesus Christ, that's literally it.
That's literally it.
There is no nudity in their film. However, their depiction of the female form somehow goes past nudity. It somehow.
This is so much sleazier than a movie full of nudity.
That's the one thing that's interesting about this movie.
Somehow they're able to be more exploitive in showing clothed women than anyone could possibly be in showing a nude woman.
The craziest thing is that I never ever thought about.
Wait, are you saying this is worse than porno?
Yes.
Okay, I agree.
Maybe not every porno.
Let's do the full proper synopsis just so we can get that out of the way. There is a drug dealer who was like a former federal agent or a cop, and he's turned bad, and he turned bad with his female partner,
McKenna,
who he shot and left for dead.
McKenna.
But McKenna, and she survived.
I'm guessing something bad is going to happen in this car.
Because it looks like a piece of junk.
Is that car with no headlights?
That car is gonna explode.
I don't know, you guys.
I feel like that car might roll down a hill or something.
You got these in a junkyard?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, guys.
I'm feeling a little worried about these cars.
They're in a couple beaten down cars on an empty road. I don't think anything's gonna happen.
You used me. I let you talk me into this, and you used me. You bastard.
You're breaking my heart, baby.
I loved you.
Dumb bitch.
Oh.
What?
Here's a flashback.
Neither of those cars blew up.
And he went on to become a drug dealer and sex trafficker.
Again, we are all in. This is a la Rocktober Blood. We're informed of this without seeing it.
And because he was a former agent, he knows all the tricks. They can't catch him. They just can't catch him. And so out of desperation, they go to his former partner, who he turned on and shot, and they want McKenna to track this guy down.
You're the best one for the job.
You must really be desperate if you're willing to trust me again.
And her plan is to get 12 girls together, and they're gonna run around in the woods with guns to shoot them. To shoot all of the
Where
bad
does he
guys.
get those 12 girls?
Oh, from
Rich?
prison.
They're all prisoners.
They're all prisoners.
Now, you would think from what Rich just said, it's like, oh, this person went to prison because she has a specialized talent.
Well, that's the thing. You expect the team of specialists. Like, here's my plan for infiltrating the base. We need a demolitions expert, and I need someone whose specialty, they were a thief, they're good at infiltration. They know how to sneak around. No.
And furthermore, because they're trafficking women, you think like, oh, they might infiltrate this. No.
No, they're just women who were in prison for similar vague manslaughter, con manslaughter,
She just
cunning.
finds crooks and they run towards the camp with guns. And that's the movie.
And the movie goes out of its way to inform you that the 12 prisoners she got, it's actually only 10, because with her and her partner, who's hastily kind of introduced and then non-introduced,
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels.
They make 12, which I think is what this film was trying. All the Pryor Brothers films have a reference point in popular cinema. And from talking to them, they said that they would basically go see a popular movie and then they would try to do their version of it, which is why like Night Wars or whatever is Platoon meets Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, Deadly Prey is kind of a Rambo 2 type thing.
Here's the thing, though, that I am very disappointed in this movie. This is the late what?
Rich had high expectations.
It is a little disappointing.
I am. This is the man who made Deadly Prey. That was one of the best movies we ever screened.
That's true.
By
Still, and that's been years now. It's still the best movie.
It's an incredible film.
Even his other movies, they weren't as good.
They have energy. But
He tried. Yeah. You could feel some effort. This is the laziest fucking thing that David Pryor has ever done.
we really need to talk about the wardrobe in this film,
Yes.
Which is first of all, I almost feel the movie implicates you, the viewer, in its own lustful lasciviousness. Because, like, when I say a phrase like "there is not a brassiere worn in this film," it makes me sound like a.
Why do they have to wear?
But
bra?
you will know very quickly that no one in this film is wearing a bra. They are all wearing basically torn rags, barely covering their erect nipples. And I just don't know how else to phrase that. And they jiggle and they bounce, and you are just like, this is not appropriate army garb.
No.
You're crawling through rock. You're firing like rifles. This is not safe.
Was it, Rich, was it you that said, like, when they're doing
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me when they're crawling under the thing and they're wearing like the short shorts and you can tell when they're getting up that their knees are just like wrecked.
Yeah,
just like you should have just worn pants. Pants would have been really helpful in that situation. But I mean, and there's some of them that are wearing shorts that are like scandalous.
This all sounds like
Bordering
you
on
guys,
G-string.
I really.
Well, here's the paradox, though.
I really hoped when I went on Best of the Worst that we would not be having a conversation like the one we're having. but it is unavoidable.
I think the problem is you guys seem to have a real big problem with what is essentially a feminist's manifesto.
I am disgusted by any depictions of the female form. And that is what's going on here.
This movie is so there's 12 strong women in this film, and all you guys are doing
They're
are
so
talking
strong.
about the way they're dressed.
They're so strong,
And the fact that they are scantily clad.
You know,
and they're doing jumping jacks.
It's about tough women doing jumping jacks.
Yeah. But we're all gonna watch their tits bounce for hours. No bras in the military.
This is highly empowering.
Was that Killer Workout that had the montage of like the
Endless montages of crotches.
That's right.
Yep. Crotches everywhere.
That's what. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can you believe that's the same filmmaker?
Look how far he's come with his progressive views.
They're women working out.
They're just working out. They're training, okay? You're reading into it too much.
You're putting
No, I mean,
male gaze.
they're working out. There's a theme.
Jay's right.
And you guys are just, you're pigs.
Jumping jacks
Jay's
without
right.
bronze.
Can we show a clip of the one failing to throw a grenade? Can we show a clip of the one that's running that falls out of her top? Like
At the end of this montage, their knees are just all bloody. Oh my god! She popped out!
Hey, I thought you said no nudity.
Nudity and David Pryor.
Well, I guess no intentional nudity.
And then they just left it in.
And Jay's right. I would like to do a self-crit right now. Like this was a very feminist film. These women, they absolutely do eventually, after several of them who may or may not have had names, get murdered, and after being sexually threatened and called bitches and they do eventually kill a man, and the movie ends not 1 second later. Like if you think the movie is going to have a moment where they're like, high five, we did it, girls, all your sentences are commuted, like we did it, we have a moment. Nope. As soon as the male character dies, credits roll. I mean, because that is the movie has served its function.
Come on, girls. Let's go home.
And we also should say, the climax of this film and much of this film takes place around just a bunch of like corrugated aluminum sheds.
Where our protagonist's train is aluminum sheds. Where they go to fight the bad guys is aluminum sheds.
If you have a aluminum shed fetish, this film is your like cat like.
Is that the fetish you think this movie was going for? That is so underwhelming.
That's not where you put those.
No.
3, 4.
Oh, wait.
Oh!
The walls just fall over.
Oh god! There's our big action climax.
This is like a stage production.
tire's on
This is
fire.
like a high school production.
Yeah.
Like community theater.
The most baffling part is when our hero, the main woman, McKenna, right? Well, that's the end. The last 35 minutes of this movie is just McKenna shooting a guy
Again and again. And then they hide behind very thin pieces of aluminum and cardboard, and bullets ricochet off that, and then then she shoots him again.
To be fair, there's a whole lot of tension in that scene, though, because we don't know when she's gonna use the bazooka.
She has a bazooka strapped over her shoulder.
I was going in a different direction.
Oh, yeah?
There's a lot of suspense because you just don't know when someone's going to fall out of their top. It could happen at any moment.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my
Well,
seat.
the bazooka and the confrontation with bad guy, the tension is 4 feet to the right are the 10 other women who have machine guns who are just waiting.
There's only 8 of them at that point.
Yeah, okay. Some of them died.
Some of them died. We don't know which.
But McKenna's like, I gotta deal with this on my own. You guys
she's
stay
like,
back.
yeah. She's like, this is my thing, and then literally.
They're 5 feet away.
It's absurd, and the movie then she blows him up at the end with the bazooka in a staggeringly anticlimactic and disappointing moment.
Oh no!
Well, I can't see anything. I wish I hadn't done that.
All right, here we go.
All right.
What's he planning on doing?
Come on now.
Oh.
That's it? That's not how bazookas work.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh, fireworks went off.
He's still alive. He's gonna get out of the car. He's gonna start hobbling away.
Did he just have like fireworks in his pockets?
That was pathetic.
I think they realized the explosion wasn't quite as exciting, so they did a couple more.
Yeah.
And then the smoke drifts away, and she walks over, and they're all just there. They're like, "Great job!"
It's missing a pan for full comedic effects.
It really is.
They're right.
Yeah, or just like a different angle where they're just in the background being like, "Go, good! He's right over there." It's funny. We began the night with a film about a woman taking a bath, And then we moved on to a film about a kid who likes taking baths.
We didn't even mention that.
And we finished with a film that made us all want to take a bath.
I brought it all around. Nice little bow.
We feel dirty, and there's no way to talk about it without implicating yourself in its sins.
I do feel
although
dirty.
it is a very, although it has certainly its own moral code. A lot of questions about Mankillers, but they pretty much all answer themselves. It's a movie about women running around wearing very little. It's basically Baywatch for like the Rambo crowd.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's a female empowerment film about revenge.
She gave us a chance when nobody else in this world would. A chance to be the best at what we do and use it for something that really matters. A chance to respect ourselves. That's the difference.
We'll go last. Rich, best of the worst.
The Pit, by a mile. By a fucking mile. Pit's one of the most interesting screenings I've had on Best of the Worst.
Interesting or most entertaining? The rules are most entertaining.
For any reason, and that's The Pit.
Yeah.
Fine. Simon?
Well, I agree with Rich. And what I would say in response to the most entertaining qualification is I never knew what this film was going to do next. I truly didn't know. And that to me is kind of the definition of entertaining. It's like when a movie can surprise me and continue to surprise me, as long as it's not just doing goddamn stupid nonsense. But this is really a unique thing, and it has many good ingredients, and I think it's unambiguously the best of the worst.
All right. Jay?
The Pit. It's weird and interesting. It's up there with Extra, which was one of our very first Best of the Worst episodes. But as far as movies that are like really, really interesting, I think The Pit, it keeps you guessing. If it didn't fall apart in the final 15 minutes, that's its biggest flaw. But everything else before that, I think, is kind of great.
So what is it, Mike?
What is it, Mike?
What is it?
Well,
you're gonna choose Mankillers just to fuck with us.
No. Mankillers is out of the picture for me.
Yeah, you did not care. You repeated many times during the screening, this is very bad.
Yeah, no,
and you were kind of rocking back and forth and looking at the floor. And
yeah, it's bad. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. It's like, why did they make all these decisions? It's bad. Everything, even the production design. Like, they could not afford to rent out a warehouse where bad guy had his lair.
Oh, I love
it's someone said
corrugated aluminum.
Someone said like a community theater production.
Yeah.
Where it was like you have a little like poof of smoke that goes off.
And then like a platform falls.
And then a platform falls over. Yeah, and it was like that level of production, but in a film. I'm gonna pick Rocktober Blood.
You think it's a better fit for Best of the Worst?
I didn't laugh at The Pit. I laughed occasionally.
But for any reason.
Yeah, the reason being, Ferd and Beverly, as an elderly couple that found Christ, that sold their film for $50 to finance a barbecue restaurant.
Plus shipping.
That's it. This is great.
I would love to throw Mankillers in a pit. Somewhere, perhaps in Wisconsin.
Perhaps.
Oh, like Beaver Dam, perhaps?
Yeah. If we could find where the pit was.
Yeah.
In Beaver Dam, maybe we could throw Mankillers into it.
Like go on a field trip to actually find the location and go on like a little tour, a little pit tour.
A pit
stop? A pit stop, if you will.
Well, Mike, here we are in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, where the pit was shot 30-some years ago.
That's right, Jay, and we brought Mankillers with us today, so hopefully, if we can find the actual pit, I'm throwing Mankillers down into it. And maybe, just maybe, there might be some angry troglodytes in the bottom of that pit to tear this terrible movie apart.
Well, if we're gonna find the pit, we should probably split up. We can cover more ground that way.
Great idea. Call me if you find the pit.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, Mike, did you find the pit?
No, Jay. Did you find the pit?
No.
Well, what do we do with Mankillers then? Oh,
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Jim.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good. Do you want to watch a movie?
Yes, let's see what our second film is.
The second film is David Carradine in Future Force.
Oh my God, look at that arm.
It looks really good. It's, I think, bionic. Robbery, $10,000. Murder, $50,000. Corruption, assumed.
With the bionic arm, now I know how he jerked himself off to death.
With crime ruling the streets and the police department out of control, there was no other choice but to call the cops, a ruthless band of county hunters in the civilian-operated police state. So it's an acronym.
Is that English?
Action superstar David Carradine electrifies the scene as John Tucker, the most powerful and feared of the cops. As the leader of the city's future force, he stops at nothing to capture each bounty. But when murder and corruption are exposed within the organization, Tucker takes the law in his own hands, armed with a bionic cannon and a .357 Magnum. Tucker is the city's only hope for protection from its own band of mercenary killers.
Oh my God.
And he's wearing denim with a bionic arm.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he's drunk.
He's talking like he has hemorrhoids or something.
Ow, my ass. Ow. I'm gonna go back to autoerotic asphyxiation.
That's great.
How did they react before it happened?
It looks action-packed. Each crime has its price. Each criminal a warning. Each bounty dead or alive. Future Force.
It's Toonses. Isn't that the Toonses car?
I don't think so.
I wonder how good his acting in this is. I sure hope he doesn't choke.
What are you gonna do with that thing? Change channels on me?
Oh God. It's gonna very slowly do something. That guy could just kill him. He's just standing there.
It's gonna fly like Iron Man.
Oh God.
He's gonna punch him in the balls.
Oh, that was it, huh?
10 minutes to stab it. God. Oh my God.
Oh, civilian-operated police state. This looks like Patrick Stewart.
I don't think so.
I think I'm traumatized by all these movies. I think I just know what's going to happen. It's like the minutes leading up to an execution.
Future Force.
Now I want that tape, Becker. You hear me? I want that tape in my hand. I want her dead in a box 6 feet in the ground.
No, he's trying.
And I want it tonight.
Someone has to. The next film that we watched was Future Force. Yay! Mike, tell us about
Why
Future
do I have
Force.
to? Well, okay. I'll talk about Future Force since Colin. Future Force stars 60% David Carradine, 40% alcohol. And a cast of lovable biker cops and a robot power glove sleeve. Which kind of looks like he has a prosthetic, like robotic arm, but it's a glove he could take on and off that has magical powers that he only uses sporadically for no reason.
Probably 3 times in the movie.
A couple
maybe?
times.
Something like that.
So we're assuming this takes place in the future, or at least in a very alternate present. I don't know. It's kind of like RoboCop meets Judge Dredd meets.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Only with a lot less racism.
And it's supposed to be the sort of the future because he has a computer in his car.
That's right.
And he has a link to Billy, the tech whiz guy, who's, I think, probably built the glove for him.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Built the
because he
robot
was
glove.
talking to him about
And he
it.
keeps like, give me updates. How are you? Is everything okay? And he's sort of the hacker. He's trying to hack into the mainframe system.
He's like his Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never explain why. I'm assuming he gives them cash.
They did later, so Billy's the one that I guess assigns him the cases or tells him about, oh, there's like a murderer wanted.
Okay, because he hacks into the computer.
They probably, you know what? They
Yeah.
probably like have a deal going where they split the profits from the bounties.
Yeah, he gets a
bead
percentage
on the good
or
ones.
something. Yeah.
Everything in this movie takes too fucking long. Unnecessary shots of people driving cars, taking their time parking, backing out and parking a little bit better just to get, more in between the lines, opening the door, getting out of the car, closing the door, walking over to the building, opening the doors of the building, and then they go to the elevator.
Then there's a bad guy who like pours himself a scotch, and he's sitting. He's just really frustrated. He pours himself a scotch.
Slowly. You gotta do this in real time.
Takes a sip, puts it down, looks frustrated, takes a sip again. And the only point of that scene is to show that he's frustrated, but it lasts like 3 minutes.
And that's the end of the scene too. And it's like, it seems like just every last shot of every scene just goes on way too long. Okay, can we talk about the first scene?
Yeah, sure. Which is like the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it starts pretty well.
Like production value.
But David Carradine, he walks really slow. Everything he does is really slow because he's so drunk.
Because he can barely walk.
He's
kind of walks like RoboCop.
Drunk.
I haven't got all night. Oh. Classic 6-shooter. Yeah.
This is not so cool anymore.
There's like a scene in the movie where he's talking to the girl in the car at night, and he is almost falling asleep when he's talking to her.
It's appropriate sound effect. Should be running through the whole film.
And I saw Billy laying there.
He's falling asleep in the shot.
He did a marvelous job acting like a washed-up, drunken police officer.
And he's only 35, right? When it was shot.
I wouldn't know.
This is at his most washed out.
I don't know. Have you ever seen the infomercial that he did, where he was?
I need to now.
He was trying to sell a rubber hose. Did you not hear about this? I'm not. Okay, look it up on YouTube.
Is it hard to sell a rubber hose?
It's David Carradine.
Was he examining like how you get it's really flexible.
This is back. It's like an infomercial, like kind of. days where people were kind of coming up with these like exercise gimmicks, like little things. So whatever. Shake weight, stuff like that. And it's infomercial with him in his backyard, and he's trying to sell this hose that you can do Tai Chi with, but he didn't have the actual like hose built, so he used a stand-in that was just a rubber garden hose. And look it up, it's on YouTube. It is the funniest thing you'll ever see. And he's like, you can do all these things with it. And his dog is sitting in the background of the shot, and at one point his dog is so ashamed it gets up and it walks out of the shot.
You could stand here and do it like this, right?
And then they put a hit out on David Carradine.
They hack into it.
John Tucker, has done treason, sentenced death.
And the bounty was like $100,000.
So whatever number is fine.
All the bounty hunters are now chasing after him to.
Which was the alternate title of the film was John Tucker Must Die, which was then later stolen for a 90s rom-com.
Then Billy hacks into the system at the very last moment to put a hit on the boss to say, He has a little pop-up thing that says cure for paralysis found. Oh, I don't have time for this. But then the guy who was choked by the robot glove hand gets shot.
How many sentences have started that?
Who was supposed to he died, he was choked to death and he's lying there dead, and then suddenly he appears and he breaks into Billy's headquarters, how he knew where Billy was, because it looked like a secret basement somewhere. Telly Savalas knows where that is, breaks through the door, shoots him, knocks off the handicap sign.
Telly Savalas Picard. It's a hyphenated.
But Billy does save the day and hits enter.
No. That's a mistake.
It's all yours, guy.
It's a mistake, I'm telling you!
So who collects the money?
They gotta split it.
It's a very fallible system.
It is. It's not very reliable.
No, it's very
It just
hackable.
comes out on a pizza thing. I don't know why I want to call it a pizza thing. I'm just picturing it in a restaurant, now serving. I guess that would be in a deli, right? Now serving.
Maybe at the DMV.
At the DMV, yeah. Order number or customer
Now
number.
serving.
Yeah.
Number 53.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like. Except it's a science fiction device in this film.
Your waiter is wanted for murder. Sentence is death. Also, your pizza is ready.
Do you remember when David Carradine was rifling through people's wallets, and we weren't sure it was scripted?
All the dead guys, right?
Yeah, he kills them.
And then he just wanders over to the car. I'm like, somebody stop him. He's trying to leave.
David, we said cut.
And then he goes to the girl's desk and he drinks her coffee and then steals a granola bar or something and just puts it in his
That's
jacket.
some great improvisation. That's some great improvisation, David. What?
And for trash collectors. Doing one in a
He's just taking shit.
Just taking shit.
He drank her coffee and stole her.
Once again, not in the script. No.
I mean, there were no spectacular scenes or anything except maybe the helicopter chase, but they managed to make that really boring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Driving as slow as I can.
Well, there's no look of danger in his face, like he's worried about anything.
There's no look of anything on his face, except craving for more booze.
The Telly Savalas Picard man shows up. He keeps dying and coming back to life. The power glove chokes him, and it doesn't choke him well enough.
Power glove is really a piece of shit.
It's very ineffective, and he shows back.
I bet
up at
David
the end.
Carradine wishes he had that power glove.
Why?
That fails to choke people properly?
The power glove he had choked him too good.
Oh no! I never should have upgraded.
It's so funny he died. Oh God!
Hey, look, when you die via autoerotic asphyxiation, people are gonna be talking about that shit for years to come. You just have to deal with it.
I guess if you die masturbating, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. It's like everyone caught you. Nice parking job.
Oh, he is still alive.
That glove's fucking crap. Yeah. Doesn't do a good job at all. Spends too much time doing this.
That was exciting.
Oh, well, anyway, the Telly Savalas guy, he shoots him like multiple times and leaves him dead in the road. And then the actual actors, David Carradine and the lady, have to get in the car.
He's too drunk to drive, so he's sitting in the passenger seat.
She refused to get in the car if he was going to be behind the wheel.
Clearly had too much.
You may accidentally drive over the actor line. Nobody trusts him. He's a good 16 feet away, but we don't want to take the risk. He could somehow roll the Jeep Cherokee in the parking lot. Don't have to cancel Kojak and Star Trek: The Next Generation. I don't know what that means.
The world never got to see a David Carradine, Cameron Mitchell team up. Oh, that'd be so good. That would have been Drunken Fury. Booze and bullets. You have one scene where they're both too drunk to do anything, and like the whole scene is performed via like they got some like grips like poking them with sticks. They're being operated like marionettes. Like Cameron just passed out, and then like some kind of intern's got like strings on his arms, so it looks like he's driving the car.
I guess you think this is all kind of funny, don't you?
They're both dead, though.
Yeah. Well, the horrors of CGI.
Yeah, we could bring them back with CGI.
Would we want to, though?
Reanimate.
I would love to see somebody asking permission for their families for this. We want to make a movie with your dead father as an alcoholic cop.
Then you do the CG David Carradine. It's like his eyes are they're so lifeless. It's perfect. He's reaching uncanny valley. It's exactly like him.
Is that right?
That was Future Force.
So far, I haven't laughed once.
I think it is now time to pick our best of the worst. Colin, which movie is best of the worst?
Parole Violators, I think, was, well, it's like its heart was in the right place. I can't really hate it. Future Force, it was kind of like, it was interesting, it was kind of funny, had I don't know. The editing was very sloppy and it was very long and sort of just padded. Get Even was just like a weird, it was like an oddity. And it was just one of those kind of like special movies, I think, that you really don't see, even though I can't really say that it was like amazing to watch. It's just a fascinating film.
If you could super glue them all together, you would probably have something very entertaining.
Yeah, if you could take the best scenes from each of the movies and then just sort of take out all the crap.
The weird vanity project, the drunken star, and the excessive kicks to the face.
Yes. I don't know, there's something about it that's just so very weird. So I'm gonna have to go with Get Even.
Jim, which movie is best of the worst?
Parole Violators, you know, I was sort of complaining about the fact that the hero kind of gets halfway into like the fight and beating up everyone, and he doesn't win until the end, but he gets the shit kicked out of him. And every time, and he's kind of a pathetic sort of hero figure, but he's also a very small man, but you know, even the smallest person can change the course of history. He ends up with the girl and the girl's daughter, and everyone's safe and fine at the end. I guess it's a happy ending for a pretty violent movie. I don't know who the audience is for this, and it's definitely not me. So I'll move on to Future Force. I like Keith Carradine a lot.
But you don't care much for David Carradine.
Not so much David. But, no, I found this to be the most entertaining because of him in it, even though the movie was crap. And I don't know why the love interest was interested in him in the end. Moving on to, we've talked so much about this, I can't really add anything except to say, I said it was growing on me as it went on, but now just looking at it, it just makes me feel like I have the flu. So I'm going with Future Force.
Future Force?
Yeah, as my pick.
Rich, I'm sorry to do this to you, but my pick for Best of the Worst is Parole Violators.
Oh, fuck.
Looking back, it is a bad stuntman movie, but there's it had more funny moments throughout it. So if I'm picking Best of the Worst, I have to say Parole Violators because it's such a failure.
Okay, Get Even. It is the weird vanity project, and that's always interesting. Somebody who has no idea how talentless they are. But yeah, most of the movie, large parts of the movie are just like a slog to watch. And Future Force, so much dull fucking padding and that kind of lousy pacing, while bad, is never fun when you're just watching a scene of somebody walking into a building that goes on 5 minutes too long. Parole Violators, while it's a very minor victory, there's always things moving on the screen. If it's somebody doing a jump kick or driving a car, something is always moving. And so at least I felt like I was watching something. And by a slim margin, Parole Violators wins.
I feel like I should be happy, but I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
If you put these all, like you were saying, into like a teleporter from The Fly, like all of them into one, the movie that came out on the other side would probably be amazing.
Yeah.
That's how we have to destroy these movies.
Oh my God, yeah.
We need to merge them
into like an Uber movie. That's just
That'd be great.
awesome. All of the strengths and none of the weaknesses.
All of the best snes edited together into one film.
Parole Force Violators, ;even.
That's it. That's it. Let's do it.
Keep going, Mike. You're only a little bit way there.
Almost there?
Oh no, you got a lot more to go.
Is this how we're gonna do it?
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied, or
Jack, what do you have?
I have Future Zone. First of all, Jay, what is this a sequel to?
That's a sequel to the film Future Force.
I actually did not see Future Force. Is there anything I need to know about Future Force going into this?
David Carradine was drunk.
Okay.
And he has a robot arm.
Great.
And that's the movie.
Perfect.
And it was directed by David Pryor, as is this movie. Best of the worst legend at this point, David Pryor. But this film stars Ted Pryor as well, who was not in the first one.
And here he is. Hunted, hated, and destined to die, the future was his only way out.
Oh, so we get time travel?
That's great!
I'm excited now. The first movie did not have time travel.
John Tucker, David Carradine, was the fastest gun in the New World until he was slaughtered in a brutal, bloody battle. Now, 30 years later, someone is trying to stop that murder. Time travel!
Okay.
Armed with a time machine and a .44 Magnum, Tucker's son, Billy, Ted Pryor, blasts through time to change the course of history and save the father he never knew. Teleporting through the Future Zone, Billy arrives in Los Angeles one step ahead of destiny. And we need to stop here because we're going to have a little discussion about how to properly make
format your text on
so here's the paragraph and 6 way up here now.
That's no good.
That's not how you do it.
No.
I see they wanted David Carradine front and center, but it's
yeah.
And 6 hours before Tucker's predetermined death, facing a barrage of gunfire and explosions, this father and son prove to be an unstoppable force as they battle all odds to clean up the town and save their lives.
If he has a time machine, why is he only going back 6 hours before his dad dies?
Because that's really convenient for the movie.
Because that's what happens in movies.
Why would you not just have that on all the time? It seems like the most powerful weapon. Yeah.
Thanks, pal.
He used it for 5 seconds and then threw it on the ground. Ugh.
Where are you going? I'm gonna get drunk!
I'd like to note
that's the truest moment ever captured on film with David
No, it's
Carradine.
not, because it's implying that he's not already drunk.
Oh, yeah.
That was a very real moment.
That
for
was,
David
yeah,
Carradine.
yeah.
That was the only line delivery I've ever believed from him in this whole movie.
Rich.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about Future Zone?
Future Zone, David Carradine, who was the star of the previous installment in the early '90s. He made a follow-up where he teams up with his son, and then they go on like cop dramas. And then when Kung Fu: The Legend Continues failed as a series, he made Future Zone.
Fucking nailed it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
That was good. That was good.
Wonderful.
Come on!
He uses the robot hand even less in this than he does in Future Force, and he barely uses it in Future Force.
But David Carradine, he stars as John Tucker, who, this character was so interesting that they thought they had to make a sequel starring him.
Didn't they make a movie about him that he must die?
Yeah, we already made that joke in the Future Force
episode. Oh, damn it.
So what do we got? What do we got?
What happened in this movie? What's going on in this movie? I don't know.
He's this fantastical, amazing, the best cop bounty hunter, because in the future cops are just bounty hunters who has ever lived, and he really just stands there and shoots at people. It's like, we're gonna film this action scene, and David Carradine's like, nah, I'm just gonna stand here and shoot the gun.
Well, my theory was, because we made many jokes about David Carradine being drunk during the filming of Future Force. My theory for at least the first half of this one is that this is like David Carradine, he cleaned himself up, and he's trying to, stay clean, and so he was just really tired all the time.
Yeah,
that's exactly what
And then halfway through the movie, he just started getting shit-faced again.
You can tell the exact scene. And there's David Carradine parking on the lawn.
Yeah, because you know what? Fuck your driveway.
What? I parked by the bush. That's where I always park.
That's my pissing bush. Well, the plot of the movie is Ted Pryor plays his son from the future that travels back in time to save David Carradine, his dad, from being killed.
Yet it tries to treat the fact that he's his son like it's a surprise.
Yeah. They drop hints, very subtle hints about his wife being pregnant and about
Very subtle.
Ted Pryor being his son through the whole movie.
Where'd you learn to shoot like that, kid?
You might say I learned from the best.
Listen, I got a doctor's appointment, and unlike some people I know, I don't like to be late.
Hey, Marion. What are you going to the doctor for?
Don't ask.
Don't worry about her so much. Women always act a little crazy when they're pregnant. You know that.
It's not even called out, but it's so fucking blatant through the entire goddamn movie.
The fucking Ted Pryor tells him that he knows his wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marion's really pregnant. Is it a boy or a girl?
He is the worst cop.
It's a bird.
You mean you came from the future to see me?
And you knew my wife was pregnant?
Wow! What a coincidence!
What are you, my nephew?
Oh, fuck off!
To be fair, David Carradine does not play a detective in this movie. He plays a cop who shoots people.
Yes.
People tell him who to shoot, and then he just goes there and he shoots the person.
All right,
And everybody that he shoots and everybody that's shooting at him just stands in one spot.
Right.
So when does he use the robot hand?
Once in an intro action scene, and once at the end.
Yeah.
Well, he needs to put it on to open a door.
Took you so long. I've been waiting for you all morning.
Well, why didn't you open the damn door for me?
More fun to watch.
I just wanted to watch you do it, David Carradine.
I'm from the future.
Come on, you gotta do better than that, kid.
Like some friends of mine, they built a time portal. I volunteered to be their guinea pig. They let me choose when and where.
Just some friends of his built a time portal?
That's the explanation.
Apparently anybody can just willy-nilly build a time portal.
Oh, that's right.
Some dude's fucking around in a garage.
That's Ted Pryor explains. I had some friends that just randomly built a time portal.
Whoops!
Yeah, my friend made a time portal, just...
It's no big deal.
Pretty standard time portal.
Yeah, because when you're in the future just dicking around, apparently you just build a time portal. Like, oh, fuck, we built a time portal? Hey, Ted, go visit your dad. See what happens.
Your survival or this crime you're trying to prevent, none of it's really significant in any way. My friend just built a time portal. I thought I could see my dad.
Every Everybody's doing it. 40 years from now.
Did I say my dad? I meant just some guy I'm fond of, because I'm not going to tell you you're my dad, because I don't know why I'm not going to tell you you're my dad. Everyone knows that I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be coy about it. No reason.
That would make the movie more interesting if it was a more blatant, like straight up comedy, and they made jokes about how obvious all this was, and David Carradine just didn't get it.
I wonder who that kid's dad is. Maybe I'll find out someday.
Yeah, that would have been great.
My wife's pregnant now. You're about 30 years old. Did you say you came from 30 years in the future?
Yeah, that's weird.
Did you ever meet my child?
You might have been friends with him.
Yeah, you lived in the same town, and I guess we were both LAPD.
Your gun looks an awful lot like my gun. Did my son or daughter give you my gun?
And we seem to have a very similar shooting style. You guys must have trained together.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Did you get an idea that you should have an earring just on one side from like your friend that had the same earring as me? That was my kid.
You know I'm the best cop on the force, right? You know, I solve all the crimes.
But he's not a detective. He's space cop.
Yeah.
He solves all crimes by
but
killing
Space Cop's a
everyone.
comedy.
As well, this movie perhaps should have been.
Space Cop was a comedy. Oh shit! I played that all wrong.
Oh, no! Just give me a second.
Did you know he died via autoerotic asphyxiation?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
That's just a little known David Carradine.
I can't imagine.
Ted Pryor needs to go back in time and prevent that from happening.
The most awkward rescue of all time. David
Carradine, stop
he's got a rope around his neck. He's doing this, and then Ted Pryor just kicks down the door saying, "No, no, just in time for the money shot."
He has to grab David Carradine's bare ass and hoist him up.
He's got like a machete when coming out of the time for him. Just like,
Oh, David Carradine, stop masturbating!
No, you can keep masturbating. Just stop choking.
All right, we're done with Future Force.
Oh God! All right, now we got to bring him back up. We gotta.
By the way, but like, if you're like a future, like you're on the time travel force, and you're like, we have to correct irregularities in the time force. Sometimes it's fun missions, like like the timeline messed up and Hitler lived. We have to go back in time and kill Hitler. Oh, that's a fun mission, right? Yeah. Okay, the timeline got messed up, and David Carradine was supposed to live. We need to stop him from choking himself to death while masturbating. And everyone's like, I don't know if I want that job.
You guys are missing out on the important part of this. He's still allowed to jack off. It's just he can't be choking himself.
Right.
Well, sure.
So someone either needs to have a really awkward conversation with David Carradine, or someone needs to hoist him up to stop himself from choking.
Pull him up, and then maybe some damage happens over the shoulder. You gotta.
The world needs you for like the timeline needs you.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't need another Kill Bill. We don't need it.
No, what we've discovered.
You just finish up.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm gonna bust down the door, and he's gonna be.
None of the vets wanted to deal with that, so they sent in the rookie.
Fucking blow it. I would like to know what is everybody's choice for best of the worst. I'm gonna start with Rich.
I got no fucking clue.
I abstain?
That's why I'm glad he was starting over by you.
I really got no fucking clue.
You got nothing. I'm gonna. Jack, what do you think?
You should just flip a coin.
Right? This is a really tough call. I guess. Did you know that David Carradine died from autoerotic asphyxiation? Isn't that crazy?
That's an interesting bit of trivia.
He was choking himself while jacking.
Was it like a noose or like a scarf?
I think most people use like belts.
Belts? Oh, because then you can pull with one hand while you're jerking.
Well, no, it happens a lot in hotel rooms, I guess. I don't know if it's like
and
an
actually, like
thing.
you don't pull. A lot of people like hang it.
Yeah.
From something.
Yeah.
So then they just
from like the closet door.
Right. And that's the more the problem.
That's where it gets dangerous.
That's where it gets dangerous.
But
Can't let it
apparently,
go because
it's the
hanging.
danger that's what gets you.
Yeah. That's what I hear. I don't know. I don't know, but that totally colored every movie that David Carradine is in.
Yeah.
Including Carnosaur 2 that he's not in. But it still colored that movie.
What color? White? Was he over his collection of movies while he was doing this? Was he?
I'm sure for a while he was purple.
Ironically, he was jerking it to the color purple.
Here's a thing for Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Or Oprah. This might have been Oprah.
Oh yeah, Oprah.
Could have been Oprah. Oh boy, Jay, save us from this. Tell us about something. I don't even. Just pull us away from this.
As far as what I would want to destroy, I don't think I can say any of them.
Seriously, you don't want to destroy the skateboard kid too?
Not really.
Because it was awful.
Yeah.
It was pretty awful.
I mean, I'd like to maybe see it used in some sort of like artistic sequence that.
Maybe we could send the skateboard kid 2 up to meet its parents.
There you go.
The skateboard.
I'd be
kid.
okay with that.
Yeah. Is it going now?
So Josh, what is our final film of the night?
Finally, Ted Pryor is the Deadliest Prey.
Yes.
Deadliest. We are excited about this. This is, we had a fantastic time watching Deadly Prey. And the tagline obviously is, we'll just go right into it. In Vietnam, he was the best. Now he has to prove it again.
Oh yes, they worked again into the... That's my favorite tagline for sequels. You say, it happened again?
Oh.
It might be happening again.
Doing this shit barefoot again. I can't believe Hogan's doing this shit to you again.
Signed by Ted Pryor himself.
Yes, yes.
Minus mullet, unfortunately. But
and he's wearing pants.
yeah, these are all detriments as far as I'm concerned.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me, right?
Nearly 30 years ago, the highly decorated Special Forces soldier Mike Danton was inadvertently sucked into a violent game of cat and mouse with Colonel Hogan, his ex-commanding officer. Thrown out into the middle of the woods with nothing but a pair of shorts on his body and no weapons, Danton was forced to fight dozens of armed soldiers to survive, and he did, killing all but one.
It's good to see you, Colonel. You look pretty good for having spent 25 years in that place.
Hey! Stop talking and start driving, bitch.
No, that's my colonel! Now, all these years later, the one he left alive is coming back to haunt him as the bitter Colonel Hogan gets released from prison and immediately seeks out his revenge on Danton. And this time he is broadcasting every bloody moment of it to the public to prove to the whole world that he is in fact the very best there is.
Broadcasting it where?
I don't know yet.
This is his plan? Like, I want to broadcast me violently murdering you to show to the world something?
Jay, some people just don't learn.
We can only hope that some people just don't learn. And by some people, I mean David and Ted Pryor.
Please. Please don't kill me. I just needed the job.
Wait.
Should have filed for unemployment.
Now come on!
Oh, man.
We can do better than that.
So moving on to our final film of the night, Deadliest Prey, one I think that we were all looking forward to, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
I was looking forward to it, but I was also sort of apprehensive about it, but we'll get into that. When we watched the original Deadly Prey, had any of you even heard of it before?
Nope.
So we picked it up and found out after that episode that it kind of has developed a cult following. And shortly after finding out it had a cult following, we found out that they were already in the process of making Deadliest Prey. Josh, what's the plot of Deadliest Prey?
Have you seen Deadly Prey?
I have seen Deadly Prey.
That's the plot of Deadliest Prey.
Oh. My apprehension for this was that it was going to be, because the first one is sort of a well-known cult movie, apparently, and a lot of people like it because it's crappy. There's always that concern that in a follow-up, they're going to play that up, and it's going to be too self-aware, and they're going to make it sort of crappy on purpose.
Well, they were either smart enough or dumb enough to play it straight.
Yeah. It is, much like the first one, it is completely earnest.
And that's the great thing about this. It's not a great movie.
No.
It's not even a great bad movie.
No.
But I was grinning through most of it just at the sincerity involved. I really appreciated that. They just tried to make a genuine sequel to Deadly Prey.
And failed spectacularly.
Which means they succeeded.
Run. I don't think this can be reiterated enough. It is the exact same story, beat for beat.
Except they replaced Cameron Mitchell with 3 computer hackers.
Yeah.
This game sucks.
True that.
Dan Pryor must have spent months at high school studying the speech patterns of modern day youth when he wrote those scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
No, man. This was for real, dude.
Jack, you should have let the spit take happen.
I didn't want to do it on the microphone.
Trace that video feed and figure out where the signal's coming from.
Yeah. I mean, we're hackers. If we can't do this, then no one else can.
Hey, man. Dude, man, I will send you the URL.
Yeah. I love that they're just hanging out in the kitchen looking at things on the internet on laptops.
These hackers, out of them, we discovered our favorite character of the movie, which is, her name is Candy Girl, I guess?
Candy Girl, yep.
True Dat.
I mean, it looks cool, but I can't believe this is real.
Well, it might not be, but it might. So why don't we take a look at it until we find out?
True that.
There was one line of dialogue in which she starts and ends with True Dat.
Oh, man. I think Danton's in trouble.
True that.
Obviously, we need to do something.
True that.
And the greatest thing about this is these are all, younger people, younger actors, and they're making no attempt to tell David Pryor, we shouldn't talk like this. They just said, these are the lines, we're gonna say them, and it's beautiful.
Well, you know what? I really think they didn't want to tell him. I think they love the fact that their dialogue was horribly out of date.
Yeah, it seems fairly clear. We did just a tiny bit of looking. You recognized another one of the hackers for being an Alamo Drafthouse guy.
He's in Best Worst Movie, and he's in the Rewind This documentary, so he's in that world of B movies.
Right, and those people, much like us, want them to make the movie they want to make.
Yeah.
And they're just excited to be in it.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna be like, kids don't actually say,
yeah,
let it go.
If someone called me and said, do you want to be in Ghoulies 5, I would be there in a second, and I would not try to update the script in any way.
Not a bit.
We got Mike Danton in the car with us. How cool is that, man?
Just about as cool as it gets.
So Colonel Hogan has gotten out of prison. Somehow, while he was in prison, he was setting up this big operation, similar to the operation he had in the first movie, only now it's going to be broadcast on the internet as they track and kill Danton as he gets his revenge for some reason.
It's like Dan Pryor thought the internet was like a TV channel.
People are watching this in bars and on projection screens.
And the cops at no point intervene.
We have to warn you, however, that many of these images are shocking, and we strongly recommend that you watch at your own discretion.
Oh, he has a copy of the movie.
Yeah.
The thing about this movie that I love is that literally every sentence in which we are talking about something that happens, you could append for some reason. For some reason. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's very much a movie written by a 50-year-old man.
I heard that.
So somehow Colonel Hogan has gotten all these people to sign up for this project.
It is their job to kill Danton, and every time one of them has Danton in their gun sights, they drop their gun and just wait to be killed.
4 against 1. You're not walking out of here, Danton.
And you are?
Oh, yeah.
Wrong.
I thought he was gonna do something clever to take them all out at once, but
No,
nope, they're
no.
just gonna go up to him one at a time. No.
He's busy punching that other guy.
Stupid.
I don't want to take away from the joy of this movie, but the amount of lassitude that went into producing it, I feel like I need to be the harbinger of bad news.
It's gonna be the easiest money I've ever made.
You think so?
No. I know so.
Oh my God! What?
That happened so slow, I didn't have time to react.
Well, the interesting thing is the movie looks pretty good. The sound editing and sound mixing is fucking terrible, like shockingly bad, where there is just those hard cuts on the audio that you see in like an amateur movie.
I'm not gonna kill you. You're not? Not yet, anyway. Fuck you.
Now that's a thought.
The dialogue in this movie is so far away. Like, there's lots of attempts at funny, witty action movie one-liners.
Sort of.
They are so far away from anything clever or witty.
Have a nice day.
What?
Too late.
Why? These catchphrases are the worst.
They go so far back around that they pass Nonmedy and come back around to
yeah.
incredible.
This movie passed the Nomnity scale, I would say.
You're dead.
Not as dead as you're going to be.
Not only is Danton back, of course, as the hero, also we have Colonel Hogan back, but then we have Black Tank Top Guy is back, but he got, if you recall, he got beat to death with his own arm in the last movie.
You really do look just like your brother. Some say so.
Andy, he also gets beaten to death with his own arm because this movie is completely different from the original.
This is my problem.
Well, let's get to that. Okay, so the movie's exactly the same, beat for beat, just replace Cameron Mitchell with hackers, but we get to the ending, and that's when they start to subvert your expectations.
First off, you're getting exactly to the point where Tank Top Guy just straight up fucking murders Danton's wife for no reason.
No!
Please, don't kill me. I don't want it.
No! But just as he's about to do that again, there's a shot from behind Danton, and it turns out to be Danton's little kid.
Lil Danton shows
Who
up.
wasn't in the woods before that?
No, but remember,
He wasn't
remember,
in the woods.
the hackers show up.
Say we actually find Danton. What then?
Help him out, I guess.
And how are we supposed to do that? It's not like we have guns or anything, you know?
Danton!
Hey, that's Hogan.
So it's clear that the hackers have, for some reason, they keep coming back. They keep coming back to the woods where everyone gets shot.
They wanted to help Denton by bringing his small child into harm's way.
And they did.
And then, oh no! That's amazing. So, by the beginning, they're
train his son to murder people. Yeah. That's great. This movie is like, it's like cathartic.
Yeah.
And when you watch the first movie and you're like, what? The wife's dead? Oh, what? The bad guy got away? This movie's like, we're gonna correct all of that.
Basically, if you go back and watch that episode of Best of the Worst, where we're talking about like, I can't believe they did this thing and this thing and this thing, and we thought it was gonna be this way and this way. This one is that way.
Yeah.
So they just fixed the whole.
And it's a much better ending for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
With one exception. Candy Girl gets killed.
Oh,
damn. True that. Well, I think it will come as no surprise to anyone what all of our pick for worst of the worst is. But best of the worsts. Rich?
Playing Dangerous too. Oh, best. Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
You really threw me for a loop there.
Let's do that again.
No, let's keep going. You mean Deadliest Prey? For best of the worst.
Best of the worst would be Deadliest Prey. Being thrown in the trash heap, playing Dangerous 2.
Yeah.
Exterminator's not that great, but there's corn in the shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Deadliest Prey is the best of the worst. It might be riding on nostalgia, but it's a sweet ride, true dat, all that jazz. And I want to find the most painful way we can destroy Playing Dangerous 2, because that movie was so boring.
I am completely in agreement. Even just if we want to narrow it down to characters, Candy Girl was our absolute favorite of the entire night. There's a bunch of douchebags and assholes. I think Candy Girl.
And Candy Girl.
She's the best.
Yeah, she just wanted to help Danton. She wanted to fuck Dan.
Hi again. Hi.
I would like to add there is some value to The Exterminator. It feels like one of those sort of classic late 70s, early 80s low-budget exploitation movies. Lots of good New York stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's
42nd Street, back before it was cleaned up, all these porno theaters and all that stuff. So there's lots of good things in it, and it's probably worth seeing. I'd be curious to see the uncut version.
Definitely.
But Deadliest Prey was so entertaining.
You even got a signed copy, right?
Yeah, this is signed by Ted Pryor, who plays Danton. Unfortunately, it's signed on the plastic, not on the actual sleeve. If you're going to sign a DVD, sign the sleeve, because we can do this now. And now, oh no. Why did Ted Pryor sign our copy of Playing Dangerous 2?
He was very confused.
Ted Pryor, why did you do this?
I believe they pitched this to KISS as A Hard Day's Night meets Star Wars.
Yes.
So A Hard Day's Night meets Star Wars? I can't wait for KISS meets The Phantom of the Amusement Park, The Force Awakens.
I thought you were going to say KISS meets The Phantom Menace.
Oh, that would have been smarter, but I didn't do that.
I know.
You David Pryor'd it.
David Pryor'd it.
You took something that could be clever and amusing, and you just did nothing with it. You bungled it.
True that.